G'day guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video we will be going through my round 22 AFL tips and predictions for season 2022 of the AFL season. As well as that, we will be recapping round 21 to see how I did in my tipping last week. Before we get into the video, if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Without further ado, we'll get straight into it. So round 21, I got a total of 6 out of 9 tips correct, which I'm going to take if we're going to be judging it over the past like 10 to 12 weeks of tipping. I've been awful. Last week I got 7 out of 9. That was a huge up spike to my average for the year. However, 6 out of 9, we're taking it. I remember the first 4 rounds of the year I got 6 out of 9, so I'll be definitely taking it. Started off on the Friday night, which was just finals footy. It felt like finals footy. I was there, got off my shift with 1 minute to go in the last quarter. I rushed to the stands to witness the final siren, and bloody hell, it sounded insane. I got it on the weekly vlog, however, some things that you capture on video just don't hit the same as IRL. So yeah, huge atmosphere, and the Pies were able to get up by 7 points. I tipped the D's to get it done. I thought Collingwood just can't be scraping these close wins against good teams and also bad teams. I reckon they'll drop it against the D's, but the D's were stood down. Ed Langdon was stood down as well, personally. However, tipped the D's to get up by 9 points, and they dropped it by 7, so pretty poor start to the round of tipping. Then we moved on to the Saturday games. It was between the Hawks and the Swans at Utah's. I tipped the Hawks to get up by 23, and they also got up by 7 points. Wasn't able to watch any of this game, seemed as though I was on my way to the Doggies and the Freo game. However, seemed to be a pretty close thriller, but the Suns just couldn't prevail in the end in Tassie. Then I tipped the Bombers to get up by 35 points against GWS, and they dropped it by 27 points, which is really just not a good look. Yeah, it's the end of the year, but you want to finish the year on a high note, and losing against the Giants by 27 is just not a good bloody way to go out. Then I obviously tipped the Dockers to get it done against the Doggies, as I'd never tip against my own team, and bloody hell, it was a good win. Finally got another win in the board. We haven't won since the St Kilda game, so that was nearly a month ago. So last win was at Marvel, then we came and prevailed against the Dogs, which was bloody good. We needed that win, and after the win we moved back to the top 4 and then got pushed down after Sydney beat North Melbourne, and also the Lions beat Carlton. So sitting 6 on the table, but definitely needed those points just to stay in the talks. Then Saturday night footy, it was the Cats and the Saints at GMHBA Stadium. I tipped the Cats to get up by 17 points, and they were able to get up by 45 points in just a demolition down at the Cattery. And then a surprising tip, I did not think that the Tigers were going to get up, but the Tigers prevailed against the Power in Adelaide by 38 points. I did tip Port Adelaide to get it done by 2 points. Pretty sure I tipped this game to be after the siren as well, so yeah, far off after the siren, and the Port Adelaide Power just couldn't seem to get it done. They couldn't seem to show that little bit of hope, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and the Tigers now sneak in to 8th position. Now we move on to the Sunday game. So I've been pretty consistent with getting all my Sunday tips correct. Got the Swans to get it done over the Kangaroos. I tipped the Swans to get it done by 62, and they got it done by 38. At Marvel, not many North Sands showed up, and bloody well, you can tell why, because they're getting thumped every week. And the Swans, well, a big total, 18 goals, 18. Then I tipped Brizzy to get it done over the Blues by 27. They got it done by 33, so only a goal off. And apparently, I was reading an article on the AFL app that this game was titled a thriller, even though the Blues dropped it by 6 goals. Like, yeah, the Blues I think they had a pretty decent comeback in the last term. I think they kicked 8 goals in the last quarter, so credit to the Blues, but dropping it by 33 points, so you can't be labelling that as a thriller. Then I tipped the Crows to get up by 12 points at Optus Stadium against the Eagles in JK's last game, and they got it done by 16, so 4 points off. So once again, with the games that I am getting correct, the margins are pretty close and consistent. But now we move on to round 22, and bloody hell, this round and next round, then we go into the finals. This is a sad time of the year, to say the least. You know, I hate seeing footy come to an end. It's been a brilliant year though. Can't remember the last time we've had a year as good as this one. So we'll move on to round 22, and hopefully we can just finish off the year strong with the tips. Hopefully we can get a big round this week. We start off at 7:50 PM at Marvel Stadium, St Kilda and Brisbane. At Marvel Stadium, I genuinely don't think the Saints should be having these primetime games. Friday night for a team that is sitting, well, 9th at the moment. Thought the Saints were a bit further down on the ladder, so credit to them. Brizzy sitting 5th on the table with 3 out of their last 5 results being wins. Obviously, Brisbane heavy favourites to win this game as well. At Marvel Stadium, you know, I've leaned towards St Kilda way too much this year, and I feel like the Brizzy Lions don't play too bad at Dockland, so I reckon they should be able to get the job done. Friday night footy, they're used to this time, they're used to the, you know, the prime time slots, so I'll be backing in the Brizzy Lions to get it done. Can tip the Lions to get it done by 26 points at Docklands on the Friday night. Just don't think that the Saints will live up to their expectations. I don't think they'll be making the finals, the Saints, and if they do, well, they're going to get knocked out pretty bloody early because they just can't seem to be competing against, well, some pretty poor sides, and if they can't do that, then certainly won't last in the finals. Moving on to the Saturday games now, we've got the Dogs and the Giants at Marvel Stadium. A rivalry for the ages between these two sides. At Marvel Stadium, you know, I think I'll be leaning towards the Dogs. The Giants, they don't play too bad of a brand of footy at Docklands, however, still not great either. Dogs coming off 2 losses in a row, one against the Dockers and one against the Cats 2 weeks back at the Cattery. I reckon they'll be able to shine their way through this game. The Dogs, I'm going to tip them to get it done. I'm going to say 16 points. I don't think it's going to be anything too special of a game, but the Dogs certainly do have the capability to absolutely thump the Giants this week, but the Giants will have some confidence. Like, they're sitting 16th, which is not a bloody good look for the GWS, a team that haven't been too unsuccessful over the past few years. They've been losing left, right and centre, and then they finally picked up a win against the Dons at home, but I feel like their losing streak will continue, and I reckon travelling down to Marvel, the Dogs should be able to just run all over them. 2:10 PM at Adelaide Oval, we've got the Crows and the Kangaroos. Well, North Melbourne just stand absolutely no chance in this one. I'll be tipping Adelaide to get it done. Adelaide with 2 wins on the trot, which is bloody good, sitting 15th at the top of the bottom 4, and the Kangaroos, well, sitting at the bottom of the bottom 4 and at the bottom of the entire AFL ladder. Obviously, Adelaide heavy favourites to get this done, and at their home deck, I reckon there's no excuse to be losing this one. I'm going to tip Adelaide to get it done by 42 points in just a demolition in Adelaide, and I reckon they will pick up a few more wins on the trot this year, Adelaide, before their season comes to a close. 4:35 PM at Metricon Stadium, we have the Gold Coast Suns taking on the Geelong Cats. Cats have not lost, I don't think, since St Kilda at Marvel, which I could not even tell you what round that was. That was a bloody long time ago. And well, the Suns, their last loss was just coming off the back of this weekend against the Hawks down in Tassie. Now, GMHBA, the Suns would stand no chance, but I feel like, could something possibly happen? No, because if the Suns are up, then the Cats are just going to prove their dominance. The Cats will win this. Going to tip the Cats to get this done by 62 points. Massive margin. It certainly could be a bit smaller if the Suns decide to show up. I think the Suns are still a shot of finals, so if they're wanting to make the 8 for their first time in history, they're going to have to cruise past the Cats, which is going to be a bloody difficult task to do. Whenever Geelong are down in games, they really just can switch on the Jets whenever they feel like it, and they're really never in doubt. If the Cats are down by 30 points at halftime, just never in doubt, they'll be able to bring it back. They can win by 40 points even if they're down by 5 goals at halftime, so going to tip the Cats to get it done. Big margin, but also a big game of footy. I reckon the Cats will continue their dominant streak. Saturday night footy at the MCG, we have the Melbourne Demons taking on the Carlton Blues. Carlton sitting 7th, and well, with 2 losses on the trot, they are definitely desperately needing to pick up this 4 points. And the D's sitting 3rd with just a bit of an up and down streak of form. Loss, win, loss, win, loss for their last 5. So as the D's are scheduled to get a win based on their last 5 games of form, and I think that they are just a better side than Carlton, I reckon they should be able to get it done at the G. Heavy favourites to get this done as well, Melbourne. Going to tip the D's to get this done in a boring 27-point result. I reckon the D's just going to cruise past the Blues at the MCG. However, the Blues can get this done, but based off their past couple of weeks, 2 losses in a row, it's just, yeah, not a good look. And facing the D's, who are sitting 3rd on the table, pretty strong when they are winning games, but pretty poor when they are losing them. But also based on the streak of form, they're scheduled for a win, so I reckon they'll get it done, the D's. Last game on the Saturday, we have the Derby, Dockers and the Eagles at Optus Stadium. 7:40 PM, Vic starts. Obviously, Freo heavy favourites to get this done. $1.13 to $6 for the West Coast Eagles. Obviously, being a Freo fan, I'm going to have to back in the Dockers to get it done. West Coast haven't won since, I think, the Essendon game, which was nearly 8 to 9 weeks ago, I imagine. The Dockers, well, their last win was just against the Dogs this week. So I reckon the Dockers should come out. We absolutely thumped the Eagles last time we played them earlier in the year. I'm just hoping for a massive percentage booster because our percentage well, it's sort of average. It's alright, but certainly can do with a percentage booster. Gonna tip the Dockers to get it done by 68 points. I'm just sort of hoping that it's 68 points. I don't think it's going to be that big of a margin, unfortunately. However, going to tip the Dockers to get it done. 68 points, massive margin. Hopefully a percentage booster for the team. And hopefully West Coast just get put in the mud. Moving on to the Sunday games, we've got the Tigers taking on the Hawks at the MCG. Now, I think I've been backing in the Hawks a little bit too much recently this year. I reckon Richmond just a much stronger dominant side. Now, the Hawks have picked up 4 out of their last 5 results being wins. So, credit to them, but the Tigers have also won 2 on the trot, defeating the Brizzy Lions at the G and also Port Adelaide at Adelaide. So they're going to be very confident coming to this game, and I reckon they'll be able to cruise past the Hawks. And tip Richmond to get it done by 20 points on the dot. I reckon the Hawks could give a bit of a scare late, or the Tigers come from behind to win this game. I reckon it should be quite an eventful, entertaining game of footy at the G. And then we've got the Swans taking on Collingwood at the SCG, 3:20 PM. The Swans have the money to win this at home, $1.49 to $2.65, but I tell you what, the Pies have been bloody red hot on the road this year. No matter where they travel to, they just seem to be picking up these close wins. And I said last week, surely they can't pick up another close win, but I'm bloody convinced it's going to happen. I'm going to back in the Pies to get this done. 2nd v 4th, it's going to be an absolute thriller. Both teams haven't lost in a very long time. I'm going to tip the Pies to get this done by 4 points at the SCG. It's just sort of normal to be tipping the Pies in close margins now. Hopefully they can keep the continuous streak of close wins, and hopefully they can get it done in a thriller for my prediction. And in conclusion of round 22, we've got the Bombers taking on the Power at Marvel Stadium. It's actually going to be a pretty interesting one to tip. Now the Bombers, well, it just isn't their year, is it? And the Power, they have lost 4 in a row. Remember, they competed really well against the Cats at Adelaide Oval. Since then, they've lost against the Pies and also the Tigers in a big loss at home. At Marvel Stadium, though, Essendon should be the favourites to be backed in at their home deck. Considering they lost last week against the Giants, you just never know. Mainly because it's at Marvel Stadium, I'm going to back in the Dons to get it done. Bombers to get up by 18 points, however, I reckon they could cruise past the Port Adelaide Power. I reckon they can get this done by a big margin. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, there should be a weekly vlog coming out this week with highlights of my own local footy game, which seemed to be a fan favourite last weekly vlog. So make sure to check that out. There should be a few other uploads during the week. Got a few things planned, going to be on the grind now that footy season is over, so I got a lot more time to be creating content. Anyway, make sure to leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all in my next video.